Alistar, the Minotaur. Many civilizations have resisted Noxus, but none as long as the clans of the Great Barrier Mountains. Though these fierce Minotaurs had protected the overland trade routes to the ancient city of Zon for centuries, they preferred to avoid Valorant's wider conflicts. The noble warrior Alistar was respected among all the clans. Out on the mountain peaks, his roar would scatter even the bravest trespassers, leaving only the foolhardy to face him in combat. Even so, in the moot halls he would always urge his kin to forge greater bonds with other mortal races. Many saw Minotaurs as little more than beasts, which soured any interaction and kept them firmly as outsiders. Then Noxus came, promising something better. Their emissary, the matriarch of House Twain, proclaimed that the empire was poised to take Basilik, a coastal city to the east. However, she pledged that they would not do this without the support of the great clans of the mountains, and called for parley on neutral ground. Many of the Minotaurs were eager to accept her offer. This was a way to gain the power and recognition they sought, by joining with Noxus. But Alistar remained skeptical. He had encountered many Noxian scouts in recent years and knew them to be a duplicitous and cunning people. For this reason, his clan sent him to meet Twain, along with 50 of their mightiest warriors, to reject any alliance. The other clans could do as they wished, but Alistar would not accept the rule of some distant Grand General. Under the banners of truce, he and his kin were betrayed. The larger clans had already pledged themselves to Noxus, and their representatives turned against him as soon as he made his position known. The battle was swift and bloody, and Alistar himself crushed Lady Twain's skull with his bare hands. But soon enough he and his surviving warriors found themselves bound in chains, headed for the distant Noxian capital, accused of inciting rebellion. These unfortunate Minotaurs found themselves cast into the reckoning arenas of the capital, as part of a grim gladiatorial festival known as the Fleshing. Alistar was appalled by the chanting of the bloodthirsty spectators. He implored his clansfolk not to fight back, not to give these Noxians the monstrous display they so craved. When the festival ended, 21 days later, Alistar was the only member of his tribe left, pelted with pebbles and rotten fruit from the crowd, dragged out to face reckoner after reckoner. He was driven to fight like a beast and think like one. He killed and killed until even his memories of home became stained with blood. Alistar had fallen far by the time he met Aelia, a servant girl in the arenas. At first he bellowed and charged the bars of his cage, expecting her to fear or goad him like the others. But Aelia did neither. She returned every day and spoke to him with gentle respect, until eventually Alistar answered in kind. Aelia's homeland had also been claimed by Noxus, and seeing his suffering had convinced her they should leave this hateful city together. She whispered her plans through the bars, and for the first time in years, Alistar found he could think of home without dwelling on the day it had been taken from him. One night, Aelia brought Alistar the key to his cell. She had sacrificed much to arrange this escape, and he swore he would repay her tenfold. They hurried to the river, where a cargo barge awaited them. However, as they boarded, Noxian agents burst from the shadows. Alistar hurled himself into battle, his vision tunneled with rage, and although Aelia called out to him again and again, he did not hear. By the time Alistar had slain their attackers, the boat was gone, and Aelia with it. So he fled south on foot instead. He searched everywhere for the servant girl, but found nothing. Had she been captured? Killed? It seemed there were no clues left to find. Weeks later, a political coup shook the empire to its dark foundations, and the arena Minotaur's escape was quite forgotten. Alistar now travels alone, as quietly and anonymously as he can, encouraging resistance in Noxian-held territories and fighting on behalf of the downtrodden and the abused. Only when he has cleared the shame from his heart, repaying every cruelty and every kindness, will Alistar return to the mountains and leave his rage behind. And in every city he passes through, he asks after Aelia.